Think about May being Mental Health Awareness Month. We have to move past awareness. I think the mental health frame needs a rebrand. It needs sexier targeting. It needs sexier marketing. But really, like, it can't be Mental Health Awareness Month anymore. It has to be Mental Health Action Month. Okay, we understand, we're aware of mental health, or at least at this point, majority of people are aware of mental health. Mental health is how you think, feel, and act. So it encompasses our whole life. Every person on this planet thinks, feels, and acts. And so everyone has mental health. So it's no longer about creating awareness. Yes, there's still things that might be stigmatized. There's still things that we need to get over. We're also combating mental health information on social media and therapy speak and self-diagnoses, all of these things that are part of now the mental health culture that maybe we didn't see coming 10 years based on some of the technology that's advanced and how many more people are speaking about these things. But we have to move past the mental health awareness, right? I talk about this important 3-step approach when trying to make a change in your life or trying to take care of your mental health or your physical health or your overall well-being. And it's a 3-step approach that I think can be applied perfectly to the idea of all of these months, but more specifically to the idea of mental health and what step we need to take next to move the needle forward so that we can create a society that is mentally well. And so the idea is awareness, acceptance, action. Awareness, acceptance, action. We got the awareness down, right? What is awareness? It's first recognizing that there's a thing that might need to be changed, right? A while back, we had to recognize that mental health was just as important as physical health, maybe even more important to the overall joy and fulfillment of our life, and that we needed to prioritize it. We're aware of that. You have feelings, you have emotions, you have thoughts that come up. How can we emotionally regulate? How can we be emotionally healthy, emotionally agile to be able to handle what life throws at us and not be taken down? We're like waves. We're riding the waves of our emotions to be able to participate in an active way in life and control the things that we have control over, which is, ourselves for the most part, and our body language and our self-talk and how we feel and accept emotions that may come through. So that's all part of this awareness, right? We've moved past the stage of awareness. We recognize that it's important. At least the majority of us, the people that are trying to do the best work in the mental health field, have recognized that it's very, very, very important. I talk about it over and over and over on this podcast because to me, it's the most important thing that we can take care of. Everything else comes from that, and everything else that we do is also bi-directional for that. Everything we do for our physical health impacts our mental health and vice versa. That's why I talk about eating well, moving well, sleeping well, and thinking well. Those are the foundational pieces of being the absolute best version of yourself in greatest service of the world. And you have to dial in on your fundamentals. You have to be brilliant at the basics. And then that is going to help your physical health, your mental health, and your overall well-being. So it all works in unison, and we have to understand. So we first become aware. We've recognized that mental health is important. So Mental Health Awareness Month needs to change to Mental Health Action Month. And for those of us that are in the field, in the trenches, working in the mental health space, every day is Mental Health Awareness Month. 12 months out of the year, 365 days. And really, I'm not as much concerned. I don't know what other people are doing. I'm not much concerned about awareness anymore. I'm concerned about the next 2 steps, which are acceptance and action. Most importantly, the last step, action. We have to take action. Nothing is ever going to change, no matter how aware I am of it, unless I move into action. And so Mental Health Awareness Month, cool. We got it. Awareness. Awesome. Next step would be acceptance. I think there's still some people that need to accept the fact that mental health is important. They're aware of it. They've heard the terms, they've seen the posts, they've seen the videos, whatever, so on and so forth. But now they need to accept it, accept the fact that it's a powerful mover in whatever domain you're in, whether it's high performance, whether it's creating the best students or the most mentally sound employees or the most mentally sound, mentally well family. Right? We have to accept that this needs to be a part of the discussion of education the discussion in youth sports. All of these things can be places where we can start to give these tools to our young people so that they're extremely versed in how to take care of their mental and physical going into their adult or young adult life. And so we have to make the acceptance step. You cannot fight against reality because reality will always win. We have to accept what point we're at. Right now, we have lots of people deeply, deeply struggling with their mental health. And we have to accept that. We have to accept the constraints of reality. What's real? What's not going away? What can't we change? What can we change? What can we improve? That's acceptance. Not saying, not accepting example would be like if I'm, 100 pounds overweight and I don't accept the fact that my diet is not very good, right? I'm probably not eating the most appropriate foods for what I need to be doing. Now, there's some other factors that go into that. Obviously, nothing is just, plain black and white except for a very few situations. But what I mean by that, probably not the best example, but if you catch my drift, is that we have to accept it exactly what it is. And then we have to surrender to that idea so that we can be an active participant in the action moving forward. Just taking a drink here. Okay. And so we have awareness. We've done that. Now we've moved into acceptance. We accept it as is. This is what it is. This is my starting point. I mean, you can think about it. Maybe this is a better analogy or better way to look at it. You can think about it as your starting point for a habit. I've talked about this before, but thinking about starting your habits at too small to fail. Okay, if you want to start an exercise routine, you want to start meditating. Okay, a meditation routine too small to fail would be I'm taking one deep breath one time per week. Or I'm doing one jumping jack one time per week. Those habits are too small to fail. And then you incrementally move up from there. And those things compound and aggregate. Then over the 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 2 to 3 year period, now you can meditate for 15 minutes 3 times a week. Now you go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, right? Because you've built in the habit, but you started too small to fail because you accepted exactly where you were. You accepted, this is my starting point. Man, I haven't worked out in 3 years. Man, I've never worked out before. I've never meditated before. Okay, cool. This is where I'm at. No shame, no guilt. This is me. This is my starting point. And if I can move up incrementally, very small steps every day, moving forward, too small to fail, man, I could be somewhere crazy good in 2 to 3 years. That's how much time I'm giving me. A long horizon, deep perspective, right? So we have awareness, acceptance, and then the final step, and most important, is action. So again, this is the stage we need to start being at for mental health. Thunder and lightning here and a little bit of rain kind of scared me a little bit. So if you're watching this on video, you may have seen me jump, but anyways, I accept it. And so the last step, most important step, is moving into action. Action, action, action. So again, I think May and mental health need to be rebranded to be more sexy, to say Mental Health Action Month. I'm no longer concerned. I can't say we, but I think people who are doing this work should adopt this mind frame as well. We're no longer in the awareness, and we're moving into acceptance and accepting the fact that this is our reality. This is what's happening. These are the people that are struggling. These people need our help. And how can we move into action phase to actually help them, to become a society that is proactive about our mental health? That's really what I'm trying to get to when I talk about Mental Health Action Month. What are the tools, specific tools, that we can start teaching people at the youngest age possible so they can start being proactive about their mental health? We're talking about journaling, optimism practice, a gratitude practice, a movement practice, eating well, thinking well, sleeping well, teaching all of these fundamentals, these basics of being the best version of yourself. So when life hits you hard, which it inevitably will in every situation, in every life, death, setbacks, challenges, obstacles, heartbreak, rejection, all of these regular human things that we go through, we have the ability, the tools, and the mindset to go and handle those things a little more healthy than we would otherwise. We don't have to start from scratch on building our mental health toolkit because we've already dedicated lots of time to thinking about what's in our toolkit, what makes us feel better, and how can we overcome these challenges and setbacks. Now, there's like some other 5% of life, let's say, that things just are really bad and they suck. And the goal of those things is to just get through them. But 95% of life is these challenges, these setbacks, these obstacles that we can overcome that can fuel our growth. But if we don't understand what mental health action actually looks like, if we haven't built a set of tools, a proactive set of tools to be able to handle these situations, we're always going to be starting from scratch. And so again, awareness, acceptance, action. Action means building out your mental fitness toolkit with the right tools in there that work specifically for you in regards to eating, moving, sleeping, and thinking. Thinking encompasses a lot of different things: a breathing practice, meditation, optimism, gratitude. How do you move? How do you eat? Do you prioritize your sleep? All of these things are foundational pillars that impact our physical and mental health. And they're things that we have to do every single day. Self-care is not something that you do every once in a while. Self-care is a commitment to your future self. So it's something you do every single day. It's a non-negotiable for your life because it makes you feel better and it improves your quality of life. That's self-care, not going to the spa every 24 months. It's commitments. It's little commitments you make to yourself to do every single day to improve the overall fabric of your life. And so that's what we need to transform Mental Health Awareness Month into, is Mental Health Action Month. Getting into schools and businesses and teaching people how to actually take care of their overall health in conjunction with physical and mental, and how it all goes together in one to make the most mentally sound, physically fit, overall strong, resilient, compassionate individual that understands what tools and non-negotiables and strategies they can use to be mentally fit. And so we go from awareness, acceptance, action. We have to move into action. Action is the only thing that's going to move the needle forward. And we must move the needle forward because there's too many people struggling. And mental health must be a priority, and we must get proactive with it.